I think Israel is sadly mistaken. Why wouldn't it be any different than it's been every single time in history? People think the Bible is BS because of your hypocrisies now. But what's beautiful is that the Bible that you have used out of context, that you have tainted, that you have stained the imagery of God with, is also the thing that's going to destroy you. Just like everything that you've built that is ungodly, God has taken authority over. He's taken charge over that line. Unless you build in sync with the will of God, it will be taken. I promise you, it will be taken from you. And he'll even let you hold on to it in the middle. It is so obvious that you don't know God. This is the Laodicean church. The church is the great harlot. The church is Antichrist, and it makes Antichrist people. By only teaching about Jesus the way that they do, they are Antichrist. Let's check out Revelation 17. The great harlot is described. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth on many waters. The great whore. The great whore that sits on many waters. Well, what's a whore? When I think of whore, I think of a promiscuous girl. Sexual. Sleeping around with everybody. Trying to get their hands in every cookie jar. Trying to take the kingdom by force, which has been happening forever. The whole story has been the same virus sprouting up over and over. And that same whore adapts. That same whore is fucking us. And has been doing it for a long time. And while it's real good for a little quickie, a couple little moments of pleasure and disassociation, man, we got a bad girl. God's got a bad girl. Bad. She's sleeping around with everybody. She acts like you're hers. She acts like she's got you. She acts like she's down. But all she's really down for is herself. And the pleasure. That whore, that great whore. She is not just a whore. It's not just a whore. It's a great whore. That's the church. The church is the great whore. The church is the beast system. And it sits on many waters. Waters are people, like masses of people. It can be different. Different waters can be different. All the different titles you can use. That could be different races. That can be different countries. That can be different religions. Look at what that great whore has done unto God. Infects the Jewish, they breaks off, infects the new thing, breaks off. Each thing tries breaking away from that same thing. It doesn't matter, it just spreads. The virus spreads. The virus shuts stuff down. The virus gets you to put some masks on. Gets you to get your hands dirty with that dirty girl. Even establishes herself as God, sits on many waters. On top of, on many waters. Because it's over the people. It's over the brackets. It infects and spreads them all. With a lesser title than the fullness of truth. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. The kings of the earth are all in bed with the stain, that sexually transmitted disease that came from her, that came from that whore. She was a hub for that disease, and everybody that slept with her is infected. Got that herpesiphagonolitis in the spirit. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Drunk with the wine of her fornication. That spans more than just religion. That's one aspect of the empire. Governments, the monetary system. It's all equal parts of the whole. It's that same harlot. And gets you to drink of the wine of that you don't even know other than that. And it gets you chasing those pleasures. See, it gets you not wanting that committed relationship. It wants you to be easy so that you're easy for it. And the inhabitants of the have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So her fornication is creating a wine. The wine of her fornication. So there are fruits. There are all sorts of toxic fruits that have been crushed and made into a wine. But the fruit was already corrupt. But even outside of the corruption aspect, people have become drunk off of that. Created systems that place you in all kinds of programs and boxes to harvest you. And been drunk. Hey, there's a parable in everything, isn't there? Corona. Crown. Crown minds. Crown, the king's crown. For God's true servants, the crown of thorn they've been bearing in this last season. Painstakingly. Doing whatever God called them to do. But crown, Corona, that's also beer. It's like the world's been drunk. You know, like people don't correlate the things happening with God. They don't see God. It's obvious they don't see God. But they do from one side. See, they see it from the wrong side than they're going to stand on. They always think it's someone else. God's judgment falls on every water. Not many waters. Every water. And there's a standard. That each person is the body. There's a standard. And there are punishments when you're out of sync with that standard. And each person chooses, but it's hard to choose because of that harlot. It's hard to save yourself for marriage in purity when you've already been raped spiritually by that harlot. Not only is that harlot just a harlot, not only does she just like to get around, no, she's raping and killing and destroying, taking captive you, your children, your loved ones, taking captive your capabilities, your potential, deceives you and turns you into a little whore just like her. Kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. That goes back to that, the monetary aspect. We got the religion part. We got the monetary aspect of Babylon, the harlot. She wouldn't be able to afford them fine garments if she wasn't wealthy already. Blood money. Blood diamonds. She's mining for diamonds. Blood diamonds. She's covered in blood, but it's the wrong blood. While she speaks about Christ and the blood of Christ in a denial, from a stance of denial. She's covered in the blood of other people. Forced sacrifices of other people. From the lambs that she's slaughtered. But it's not the lamb. It's not the Lamb of God. And just look at the money. What has the money done? It's built everything to withhold us, given power over and over and over and over and over to the wrong people. But we've got to do our part too. You just look at the whole monetary system, this structured debt and enslavement, destined to fail. Look at what interest is. Look, if there's $1,000 and you're lending money with interest, and you're getting interest on a loan, it's automatic inflation. If you pay 10%, then there's $1,010, but there's still only $1,000. How is that? That's happened over and over and over. Now thinking billions and trillions of dollars of debt. Why is it there? Because it's an illusion. It's the stain of the harlot. That's the birth of the harlot. Just like these religious terrorists are the birth of a harlot. And banking has enslaved us. Yes, while it sees the ways that it does good within its parameters, building its fortress. Oh yes, every fund, it's structured to build that, to build its kingdom. But it can't build a path for anything other than it. That's why it can't work. That's why it looks like that. He carried me away into the spirit, into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. So